students, welcome back to your geography online classes. So before your half yearly exam, we have started with chapter 6, that is Asia, location, political division and physical features, and we have started with the physical features, that is the northern lowlands and the central mountain complex. So now in today's video, let us continue with the southern plateau, the great river basins and the island chain. So southern plateau. So what is a plateau? A plateau is a flat, elevated landform that rises sharply above the surrounding areas on at least one side, and it consists of mountains, plains and hills. So southern plateau. Three ancient plateaus composed of old hard rocks are found south of the central mountain complex. These plateaus are referred to as shields. So the southern plateaus, they are composed of these three ancient plateaus, which are composed of old hard rocks, and they are found at the south of the central mountain complex. So these plateaus, they are referred to as shields. Now the three ancient plateaus, they are the Arabian Plateau, the Peninsula Plateau or the Deccan Plateau, and the Yunnan and the Shen Plateau. Now the Arabian Plateau lies to the east of the Red Sea, rising steeply from its coast but slopes down more gently in the northeast where it meets the valley of the Tigris River. It is extremely dry as there are no rivers here. So the first one is the Arabian Plateau, which is in Western Asia, and it lies to the east of the Red Sea. So the Red Sea here, it lies between Africa and Asia. So the Arabian Plateau, it comprises of the Middle Eastern countries such as Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Yemen and the other Middle Eastern countries. Rising steeply from its coast and slopes down more gently in the northeast where it meets the valley of the Tigris River. So the Tigris River here is located in Turkey, and it is extremely dry as there are no rivers here. Now the second one, the Peninsula Plateau or the Deccan Plateau, lies to the south of the Narmada River right up to the Nilgiri Hills. So these the Peninsula Plateau or the Deccan Plateau, it is found in India. It lies to the south of the Narmada River and right up to the Nilgiri Hills. So these the Peninsula or the Deccan Plateau is a large plateau located in the western and southern India. The Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats bound the western and eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau. So the eastern and the western Ghats mark the eastern and the western edges of the Deccan Plateau. The plateau rises most steeply from the west coast and slopes gently towards the east coast. Therefore, the rivers that rise in the west flow into the Bay of Bengal in the east. Some of them are the Kaveri, Godavari, Krishna and Mahanadi. Now the third one is the Yunnan and the Shen Plateaus. They are situated in China and Myanmar respectively. The western side is steeper than the eastern side. Now the Yunnan Plateau is located in China, whereas the Shan Plateau in Myanmar. Now the Yunnan Plateau is dissected or divided by the Changjiang River, which is also popularly known as the Yangtze River. The Shan Plateau is dissected by the rivers Mekong and Salween. Now these are the three ancient plateaus of Asia, that is the Arabian Plateau, the Peninsula Plateau or the Deccan Plateau, and the Yunnan and the Shan Plateau. Now let us continue with the great river basins. Many large rivers begin from the snow-covered mountains and central highland plateaus of Asia. So what are these river basins? These river basins, they are portion of the land drained by a river and its tributaries. So many large river basins begin from the snow-covered mountains and central highland plateaus of Asia. The valleys of these rivers have formed from the decomposition of rich, fertile silt and are densely populated, sustained by agriculture. So the valleys of these rivers, they are formed from the decomposition of the fertile silt brought by these rivers, and they are densely populated by human, and the people who lived in these valleys, they are mostly dependent upon agriculture because the soil here is very fertile. Some of the river basins are mentioned below. The three very large westward flowing rivers form the Great Plain of China. These are the Huanghe, the Yangtze, and the Sikiang. The Ganga-Brahmaputra Basin is another vast plain in northern India and Bangladesh. The Indus Basin is spread across India and Pakistan and includes most of Punjab, the land of 5 rivers. The tributaries of the Indus are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and the Sutlej. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers in Iraq form the Mesopotamian plain. The valleys of the river Irrawaddy, Mekong, and Salween in Myanmar and the adjoining countries form the fertile plains. The Manchurian plain of China is formed by river Amur. Now, river Amur is the 10th longest river, forming the border between the Russian Far East and northeastern China. So now let us continue with the remaining one, the last one, that is the island chain. The islands, they are subcontinental piece of land surrounded by water. Now, the continent of Asia has many islands, some of which are independent countries while others are part of other countries. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Lakshadweep Islands, they are part of India. The former lies in the Bay of Bengal and the latter in the Arabian Sea. So the Andaman and Nicobar Island and the Lakshadweep Islands, they are found in India. Andaman and Nicobar Island is found in the Bay of Bengal, whereas the Lakshadweep Island in the Arabian Sea. There are some islands in the Pacific Ocean, that is the Philippines, Japan, and Taiwan. Close to Japan lie the Kuril Islands that are governed by Russia. The largest group of island or an archipelago is the Malay Archipelago. It comprises of Java, Bali, Sumatra, Timor, New Guinea, Sulawesi, and Borneo. So these are the famous islands of Asia. The island of Southeast Asia have several active volcanoes. There are mountains and volcanoes that have been partially covered or submerged under the seas because of tectonic plate movements. So due to the movement of these tectonic plates, some of these mountains and volcanoes are partially covered or fully submerged under the seas. Some of these mountains have emerged as islands. So with this, we have come to the end of this chapter, that is chapter 6. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.